Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Remmy. I'm getting up for a second. Today we're looking at another coaching video, so we're gonna get right into it. Today I'm coaching a VAL main, picking up Petra, Syrian Caspian. He's 1919, which is, he's 1900 in ones at peak, which is about 100 away from diamonds, which is 4 or 5 games, depending on how much elo he gets per game. I haven't watched any of the games yet, so it'll be my first time seeing him play, and I'm going to try to help him figure out what he's missing and what he needs to change in order to get the placements he wants. Yeah, I'm going to get right into it. We got pen on screen and everything like that, and yeah. Okay, what's up?
Hola.
I'm back. Are you good?
Yeah.
Alright, so getting right into it, I'm gonna move the replays loader. Do you have any, if you remember any of the games, do you have one that you were looking for in specific or interested in me looking at?
No, not really, just kind of all of them. I'm pretty sure I threw in 4 that I won and then 2 that I lost to get variety of like me actually losing a match and then me
Do you remember the characters you played, or I can just drag them in and see, and then you can tell me what any character you want in specific? I remember you said you main Val, but you're looking at picking up these other things, so.
Yeah, and all of them I did play Val, and I only really picked up Petra as a 2s pick, so.
Okay.
I figure since we were just doing 1s, I was gonna stick to the Val.
Okay, I can work with that then. That's fine. Alright. We're just gonna hop into one of these. Doesn't really matter which one. Okay.
Alright.
And then screen share is going for you, so you can see everything. I'll be able to mark whatever you need. And yeah. So before I go into the game, you said you can hit almost anything if you're warmed up. You can land the combos as need be, which means that you don't really have to worry about combos then. You can obviously practice them just if you want to make sure you're getting them right, but for the most part, if you can already land every combo and put in, you're already good on the mechanical standpoint. You want to work on spacing, options, stuff like that, stuff that you need to see. And then how would you say your like mental is? Do you ever get upset, or does it matter? Are you just playing to play?
My mental, the only thing that my mental actually gets hurt at is like ranked 1s. I absolutely hate playing ranked 1s. Like if like I could literally sit there and play ranked 2s all day, my mental would not go anywhere. It's only when I play ranked 1s, and even when I do like custom games with people and stuff like that, I like never get angry at all.
Alright, well that's good. You can keep it together in customs and then ranked 1s, but it should be the same. You should be playing at the same goal in both, and then obviously it really shouldn't be getting upset in 1s. As I say that, it's not really my place to help you with that, right? If you're gonna be upset, it's on you, but you should definitely look into not being upset in ranked 1s. Okay, right into it. This game against Cassidy, Brawlhalla, and your Val.
Yes.
Okay, this is literally something I talked about with the first person, and this is just the first game, so I don't know if I'll end up seeing it again or you doing it again, but you land and your wake up is to, it's initially fine. It's initially you jump up and you're going to control the air for the weapon, but then you decided that you're going to land and then dash back and forth 3 times, which doesn't really give you much room to actually contest the weapon when it finally spawns or to react to him aggressing onto you. Now look at where you're at, and you're going back and forth, and what happens if he pushes onto you? You're not really ready to do anything as long as he's also competent. If he's competent, he goes into you and he gets you while you're moving back and forth. If he misses, sure, you'll be over here and you'll be able to punish him back on the dash, but for the most part, dashing back and forth like this when the game starts really does nothing for you. That wake up you did there, where you just go in for the nair, is in reality what you're gonna want to do without all the dashing, because the dashing is just noise. It's excess. You don't need it. If you wake up like that with the nair, that's a normal opener when you both have an arm. He didn't really you just don't need to be dashing like that. It just doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Like even if you wanted to like surprise him and just like jump at him like that, you're better off just standing and waiting and then jumping. because if you dashing back and forth, it just gives him time opportunity.
Yeah.
You get the weapon. He's kind of dashing back and forth, which is fine. Nothing really happens in all this, right? You get the weapon and then you take it slow. When you do want to go in, it's kind of just unlucky what happens. The nair wasn't really, there's nothing there, right? Like, even if he jumps with where he is, he'd literally have to be jumping towards you. It's just a dangerous nair with no real, like, reward there yet for you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
So you see this dash jump there, and it's like, okay, why? And you should ask yourself that a lot when you're doing something. Why did I just do that? What's possible? What's gonna happen? The dash jump there doesn't really have a lot of opportunity. He hasn't shown that he likes jumping. In fact, you should assume the opposite. Is you see how he's dashing back and forth on the ground. That means that literally he's not going to jump. He's just on the ground back and forth. Jump there doesn't really get you anything. That was a good punish. This doesn't really matter because this was actually fine and this was the correct. This is like what I would do too, but a lot of people are looking more into other options besides dare on gauntlets. So I know Boomy, for example, likes to talk about it. When you downlight dare, you're not really gonna do much after it. You see that Sarah didn't really get much out, but you could also look at things like downlight, sidelight, even though that's like the main one, and then you can look for the nairs or the dodge read. You usually have more opportunity to get the dodge reads, and if you really want to practice some harder combos, you get downlight nair on the ground, which is really tight, and then downlight recovery on the ground is also possible. There's just a bunch of stuff you can look in, and downlight dare is just like, okay, it's the most damage I can get without anything else added onto it, but gauntlets are a weapon where you're trying to open up and find a bunch of stuff you could possibly do, right? So
yeah, I like one of my good friends that I play with, he tells me that, like, he's diamond already, and like he tells me that all the time, that I should start converting to downlight sidelight instead of downlight dare. And I've been slowly trying to integrate it into my play style, but I mean, it's still work in progress, obviously.
Yeah, it'll suit you more usually, especially if you're doing downlight dare in later healths. It's just not very valuable. Okay, I didn't point this out, but what happens after the downlight there is you Sarah, and that's fine, and then he sends you up, but you actually wasted a lot of options here, which you really shouldn't do. Now, yes, he dared you up there, but you had another jump, and you used that jump to hover rather than to find yourself anywhere back on the map, moving to this area to safety, or at least like going straight down. He doesn't do anything about this, really, but because he probably just doesn't notice it, but you leave yourself very open, and you see how you finally have to bring yourself back down because of the way you wasted your jump up here. You have to bring yourself back down onto him, which gives him the sidelight. You generally, if you're not going to be attacking or breaking your way through someone, moving towards them with no hitboxes coming out leads you to getting hit like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you're coming back to the ground, you have to just look for a different way. This was really good. You sidelight, and then he dodges down. You react with the dash jumps there. It's perfect. And then this is good, but it's bad. It's bad because you just did the wrong thing, but it's good because you were thinking about the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You knew you wanted to commit offstage sham. You knew he just wasted his dodge here. You knew that I'm assuming you can count the jumps, but even if you can't, you know he has one. Now you see he had one, right? So committing offstage here is just in every scenario the proper thing to do. You're gonna commit offstage here, and it's good. You just do the wrong move. You just do something where it's like no possible chance of him hitting him. It's just not. It just doesn't really make sense to go for a nair like this. A nair is not the wrong thing, but you do it backwards. You do it falling. Instead, I'll give you a variety of options you could have taken here. You go down, you maneuver under him, and you do the same nair. You see his hammer nairs, you have time to go under him and nair yourself, and then ground pound, Sarah, whatever you want to do after that, right? You take it from above, you wait out this nair, you ground pound, you dare, anything. You take it from side, you Sarah. There's a lot of options you could have gone for, and you were just playing too fast, thinking too fast about it. And you just go in and you nair behind him, right?
Yeah.
So just take it slow, not necessarily slow, because you have to make decisions like this. You have to be fast. You knew you had to go off stage, and that's fine, but go off stage with the correct thing is my point.
Yeah, it probably would have been better to do Sarah there.
Yeah. All that is fine. He should have dodged, but he didn't, and you punished it. He had no dodge there, and you had the kill, and you instead go down. I'm sure you see it already. You down GC downlights, you sidelight. Instead of taking the recovery and he dies at this health, you just reset for really no reason, but it's just end the stock when it ends. You don't need to play it even longer. You can also turn gadgets off, and I just noticed you had them on, but
this was actually in a custom game.
Okay, that's fine. The rest of the stock is kind of poorly. It should have been over, but since it's not, you're looking to kill him. And this is where it all starts going downhill for you. As he dares you, and that's fine. You really want to break neutral, but he already did it for you, and I'm not sure how much time you actually had to react to this sidelight that he did. It feels like you already wanted to throw your gauntlets, because he dashes, you dash, and then you throw your gauntlets rather while he's sidelighting. And it's fine because he missed, but you definitely had enough time after getting these out of your hands, excuse me, to turn around and end light him, or just throw out a sidelight, something to break the space, because now you're looking unarmed versus a weapon, and he's going to do this. And he misses again, but you go way past him. So you're still rushing, and unarmed is like you rush a lot, but you really rush with it with moves, not movement, just moves. Because if you're trying to move into them, that's not what unarmed is good at. Unarmed is low range. It's not that good of priority, so you don't move into people with unarmed. You let them move into you. Like right here, if you just immediately end light, the end light hits them. Right there, if you immediately sidelight, when you have no weapon, you should worry more about putting out hitboxes so they can't come to you rather than where you're going. Because there's not even a weapon on stage. There's not much for you to do besides be unarmed. You slide past them. So that end light, I don't really get it. Actually, I do get it because of the position you just came from. But you're punishing something that happened a very long time ago. It's kind of autopilot-y. It's like he's already here, and by the time it matters that he's here, it would have been over. So you shouldn't be worried about, and this is something you can always look at for your play and always think about. Don't worry about punishing this. Just know that he's going to try to cover it. So punish what he does next. And you landed already, and he jumps stairs again. Now, so this is what I'm talking about, by the way. The only reason you were here was because you were trying to punish the original dare, right? But let's say you didn't punish that dare. He jumped dares, and you probably could have been here and punished this with a Sarah. Just think about the next thing he's going to do, because it's usually a wake up. And you'll see this a lot with high-level sword players. Sword player will downlight on sword, and they'll endlight immediately, right? So instead of worrying about punishing that downlight, you punish the endlight. Lance speed players, they'll endlight, and then they'll downlight to cover it. Punish the downlight rather than the endlight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just easier to punish the second one rather than the first one, because the second one exists to save them from the first one's mistake. Just mainly neutral, like neither of you are hitting each other. You don't really seem to want to hit each other, which is fine. Since nothing's really happening, you're not in threat. This could have been punished, and I think you were trying to punish it with that sidelight, but that's just not what you're gonna do with that. That end light was just bad. There's no other way to put it. You should turn around and then it hits, but I feel like in reality you can see that yourself. Next time you'll just turn around, right? So much to look at there. Downlight Sarah kills him, downlight recovery kills him. He kills himself anyway, but for the most part you should be looking to end the stocks, and you have openings to end the stocks, and you're not taking them. Sidelight there is fine. You could have tried to end light, but I'm not sure if it would have even hit. There's no reason to go back and check. This is fine. You're taking your time, and that's damage, and damage is good. He does kill you there, but honestly, you didn't even play it poorly, per se, you know. So
Okay.
you go in for the downlight, that's fine. He just counters with his own downlight. Okay, that end light could have been punished. Gauntlets aren't very rangy, but what they are good at is being on the ground. You're playing them very high in the air. Like, see where you are, and you actually have no jumps here already. You're not even like floating super high. You're using all your jumps to hover this area, right? This like box of area around him. You're never putting out an attack while you're hovering this area. You're having an area of threat and then not threatening him with anything. You're just there. Like, if you watch it again, you dash, just play neutral. In reality, you just punish the sunlight with a downlight, right? That's just the correct thing to do, because you could have reacted to this so long ago, and you reacted to it with a jump rather than a downlight punish, and that's just not good.
Does downlight beat inlight on hammer?
Yes, because when you do the downlight, your body is here, and the downlight hits here.
Okay.
And this is the hitbox for that. So do you see how in no world would this hit you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. So if you downlight there, you should be fine. But since you didn't downlight, let's look at what you did do and why it doesn't really make sense. You jump, and he's already backed off the end line and gone for the side light. Now, you come down, and then jump again. And at this point, you've just been controlling this area. You haven't punished him for anything. You're going to miss your punish now because you're out of jump, so you can't actually space the air correctly. So all of this was bad. And, of course, we're talking about a game where by the end of it, you still get this, right? You still end up punishing him, getting some damage off, but this entire interaction was not a good interaction. So you should still look at it. You end up coming out on top at the end, but this entire thing was just kind of poor, right? So that's why I'm pointing it out to you. There's just a bunch of times in here where you could have played it better and actually hit him earlier than you did. Gauntlets are best played on the ground because that's where most of they don't have that amazing priority, but most of the priority they do have will come on the ground. In the air, the only real approach you have on this guy is dare, right, which is what you go for here. But imagine if he was actually using Cassidy and Sig. Imagine if he was actually playing it the best of his ability. Then it's a lot harder for you. You're not getting the stuff you're getting right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you get the downlight there, which is fine. And then you go for the Sarah again. It looks like an exact copy and paste of what we saw last time. So you end up off stage again, and he goes for the same dare. This time you make it back on. Okay, this is something I noticed in a lot of Gauntlet players that don't play a lot of Gauntlets or aren't that good at Gauntlets yet. So you have to use downlight a lot more than you do. Like, that is good, and you see how powerful that is. Right here, after the Sarah, you could have gone in for a downlight. You trade dashes, and that's fine. He's off stage, and he comes back in to sidelight you, punish it with the downlight. You just need to be ready to punish these things with downlight. You jump up, and you guys are both kind of playing really hesitant of each other, as in you're moving around each other without really doing anything, which is fine, but you have to be able to make opportunities with each other. And remember that, yes, this person is the same skill as you about, right? You're both like around the same range of talent, but he's not actually good, right? Does that make sense? I'm not trying to say he's bad or anything, but he's not actually like crazy. There's nothing to be. What I'm trying to say is, if you were better than him, you would stomp on this guy, right? Because there is still so much for you to go up rather than be equals. So think about that, and then look at the opportunities you could be making for yourself. Keeping in mind that this guy stays the same skill level, right? If you were a lot better, there are things you could do to break this like silence that you guys have created, where you just don't hit each other. And that weapon throw, that punish was good with the end light. Good Sarah. He stays on the ground a lot. So that jump there is really a weird option. It doesn't really work a lot, especially since the way Dare does. It's not like guns where it, like you jump there and then it keeps you in the air and hits on the ground. This is really fully committing to the air, and nothing really is gonna come out of it. This guy misses a lot of punishes. You could get a lot punished for a lot of what you're doing. A lot of the things you're doing can just be hit out, or you can be hit for them, but that's not really happening here. Like that Dare was actually really poor. He could have downlighted it. He trades back with an orange, but it doesn't matter. The same jumping you're doing with gauntlets, and this jumping is just like they're just not strong in the air. You don't actually want to be in the air with gauntlets. There's no reward for the getting hits in the air. The only real hits in the air you're willing to threaten is a falling Nair, and that's just everything on hammer beats that out. So you don't really want that in this matchup, especially.
Okay.
The ground is definitely your friend here, and this area I'm talking about was what we talked about in the beginning, where you jump. He hasn't done anything. You jump again, and then he punishes you for it because you've done it twice now. And even if he didn't punish you for it, there is nothing you can do. You've jumped twice for no reason. There's nothing you're going to get from that. That was fine. That sidelight was actually not bad either. It's just that he actually played it well too. So you go for the sidelight and he punishes it, and that's fine. What you do next is questionable. It's not like terrible. It's just not good. I don't know. It's just like something you go for, you know, where you just think, yeah, I went for it, so what? But if you want to look at something you actually could have done here, is not much, because of and this is where it's like kind of threatening, because he jumps up to GC stomp. Weird, by the way, but he could also just side sig you. He could end sig you. This guy is in a complete winning situation here. He has so many things he can do to your character with you trying to come back to the stage this way. In reality, you should have gone over him, and you're still in a losing position. You're always in a losing position with this. So the GC side sig was an interesting choice that honestly wasn't even the worst one, so I respect it. His punish was bad, but I'm going to look at this real quick for you, just so you see the problem. This stock was the longest in the game about.
Yeah.
The longest break between no one killing each other, and that's fine. But you could have killed him this long ago. And now look at this up here. This is winning. So why does it end with you being equal to him, right? Because it goes through for a while with, okay, at the start, you're getting hits on him, he's not hitting you, it's not 1-for-1s. And then it completely switches, and now he's getting hits on you, and you're not getting any on him. And that's just bad. You can look at the entire stock. Sure, it's a bunch of things that went wrong. It's not just like, oh, the one thing went wrong. A bunch of things went wrong for you to get back into this position where the game is even. But they shouldn't have been. His stock should have been ended, right? If you're playing better, you're looking for kill options, his stock ends rather than it being even.
Yeah. Basically just getting better at
confirming your stock. Yeah.
Which, from what I've heard, is a real struggle on gauntlets.
But you have the other weapon, which it really isn't on, so. Right here, and I was looking for it, but this specifically, if you throw your weapon away, you can get this weapon, and then he's stuck with no weapon. So it just creates that. It creates, and this is really where the stock starts going down for you, because you can't kill him now. He has high damage weapon. You could have traded yours and gotten the better weapon for killing and left him unarmed. So it's a 2-in-1 right here, taking this weapon from him. The weapon only spawned because he got disarmed, which is when weapons spawn. So you should also work, if you're paying attention and you know you're not going to get like run over, you can throw away your gauntlets and a new weapon will spawn. But if you're both holding on to your weapons, a new one isn't going to spawn, if you didn't know that. But he gets rid of his gun, so a new one spawns. And you're in a position to take it from him, but instead you commit with the gauntlets. You know gauntlets are hard to kill with, so switch them out. And there's no problem with switching them out. Also, by now, this recovery is fine because it's like a normal thing, but in this specific scenario, if you've been paying attention for the past 1 minute and 20 seconds of the game, or I mean 2 minutes 20 seconds of the game, you know this about this person. He likes to dodge down after side light. Remember the first stock where we took him off with Nair? He dodged down after side light. We've seen him dodge down after side light multiple times. So yes, recovery is the normal thing to go for, especially if you're trying to kill. But that's because you've seen that you've wasted the stock and you're trying to rush to kill him now, right? If you were still thinking the same way you were thinking earlier, you would have punished the Sair with a Sair because you know he likes to go downwards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you take the stock, but you've already thrown your massive lead that you had, and now the game is once again even where he can kill you. He doesn't kill you immediately, gadgets are on still, by the way, but it looks like you managed to get damage back up. I'm going to look at this little circle here for you just because it's actually... This is a point in this matchup where you're actually thriving. And I'm not going to complain about your recovery. The recovery wasn't good, but you had already started it kind of. Like you already were in the mode of I'm on a recovery here.
Yeah.
But you're in with guns where they can't hit you, and you're playing sword, where sword has all the control here, and this is what I'm talking about right here, where you're trying to hover that area, and it's fine, because while I said gauntlets can't jump like this, and it's not good to jump like this on gauntlets, sword actually can. Sword can actually approach with its there, and it's there, where gauntlets can't. So on sword, it's actually better to play the air than the ground, because sword can't really break in with side light, it has low priority. The thing is, he jumps airs. Now, there are infinite things you can do here, right? You can, instead of using this jump again, because this jump hasn't actually started yet, you're going down, and now the jump starts. You can see the clouds. I'm going to get rid of all of them, just so you can see. This is your jump. You come down, and now you've started your jump again. You could have kept falling, you could have nared. You could have kept falling a bit more, or you can recovery. You jump again, which gives him time after that Sair. You know what I'm saying? You give him more time by jumping again, because jumping costs frames. You have to waste time to jump. If you just don't jump, instead you just get the punish off there, then you're in a perfect spot. He has guns that you would have been here. He's here with guns that cannot play above you, and you're holding sword, the best weapon for juggling. You're gonna nair him, you're gonna recover him. It just opens up a completely different situation than the one you let yourself be put into by going for this dare that you really can't do much with. You get the dare, it's fine. You miss your punish there. He's trapped for so long. You don't need to rush this. You just nair too fast. You can go all the way up. Look how much time you still have if you didn't just nair there.
Yeah.
Nair is good. Recovery is sloppy, but it wasn't an 8 anyway. This landing was kind of bad because you Saired, but there's no reason to Sair here. I think you're trying to catch this with a Sair, like the area you're in, but look at this area, and next time you dare. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because
dare will hit way more times than that Sair will. That Sair has no world where it actually connects to him. Like at all. It's not. I don't even think it's possible if he wanted to move into that Sair that he could get hit by it. This dare, however, will work, and if it doesn't work, you're in a. It makes it. You're not this like far. It just resets the game basically. That throw was very bad, just because. I think you did it because he's dashing like this, which is kind of what he wants. He wants you to do something about it, but it's just like sloppy. He's already jumped. You never really need to throw your weapon like that unless you're really like you're trying to force your way in, and even then, there's other options than just raw throwing your weapon in neutral, because now you've disarmed yourself, but you've also switched sides, so now he gets to control the weapon, and I'm sure he doesn't, so it doesn't matter, but yeah, like he just gives it back to you for free, so. Gadget player, respect.
Yeah, it's kind of hopeful.
Your downline recovery was good. Good nair. This thing you're doing where you're hopping a lot in place. I don't like I said, I don't like that you hop towards them, but you hop in place too. And that actually is good. It gives you time to react to either thing he's doing, whether he's going to come in with a sig on the ground or in the air or a jump. Hopping in place gives you a good amount of time. Just don't do it to where it's a habit and they can jump stare it. You recovery and then get naired, and that's okay. Another weapon throw. That was a good punish there, but the recovery was kind of out of nowhere because you can actually recovery on reaction to where you know where they're going to be. He was already out of time. Like, there was no way that recovery hit. If you really wanted to follow this up, and I'm telling you that you could have followed this up, I would dare here too, and I know there's no way to follow it up. In reality, the best way to follow this up is to wait for this dodge that you see and punish it. This scenario is really good for this dodge because you've downlight dared. This is him. Most people, like I, would give up the stage here personally because I can work my way back onto it. But 9 times out of 10, you are going to be dealing with someone that will want to dodge back into the stage, which is exactly what he does. This opens up anything you want, really, because you're above him on sword. You recovery too fast when you can jump, dare him again, then recovery. You can stare him back. You can do anything you want, knowing you can even land and sig him and then send him back this way. You get what I'm saying? He will, looking at your scenario, just think about, after you've hit, while you're doing that combo, and you've decided that you're going to dare, think about everything that he can do. And then think about what's common for him to do. He's going to come back to stage because everyone wants to come back to stage. Even if he goes up, that's another thing you can react to. And you can then get your recovery or get nairs. And if he gives up stage, then you start an edge guard situation, which is fine. That's not as confirmed as the nairs or the punish here, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter. You're still in an advantage state because he's giving up stage to you. But you recovery too fast is the main problem. You're going for a combo that's not there yet. If this was a lot more damage, sure, get your true combo off. But he's still in orange. He's not going to come into that recovery. It makes no sense. You get punished for the recovery, which is okay. Another weapon throw. And you're doing this a lot just to break neutral. Because, I mean, he's doing the dashing thing a lot. And so whatever. In reality, you see him endlighting, you could have dashed in super hard and downlighted him, but you get the weapon throw off, which is fine. He wastes a side light trying to just wake up from your throw, so that's good for you. And you punish it accordingly. Kinda, I get the idea, so I'm not gonna say anything about it. It was fine, you just lost the clash. That weapon throw was bad. It's a habit weapon throw. Diamond players do it too, where they just send you off and then they throw a weapon at you. It's actually not good because if you kept your weapon, he comes in like this and you can get the ground pound off if you time it through the nairs. Instead, you go off anyway to punish the nair, which is good, and then you commit off stage, which is all fine. You're playing in a sense of control, but you're taking a lot of damage for it because while you are playing with a sense of control, you're missing, right?
Yeah.
So you're taking damage, whereas you could have reset a while ago, and all of this, there's no right way to play this out. There's no, oh, this is correct, but I'm just going to point out that you, instead of going back on here and trying to edge guard him again, resetting it, you committed off stage with him, and it made you take a lot of damage. Now, in another world, yes, you don't take, you actually kill him, fine, okay? So I'm not saying that don't go off stage here. I'm saying, I guess what I'm saying is do it correctly, right? Kill him, because now you're taking damage. Now you're wasting your lead. You're getting hit, whereas you can kill him. All of those could have been kills, but none of them were kills. And does that make sense?
Yeah, where I just couldn't get the confirm.
Yeah. Going off stage creates another whole thing. I mean, going back on stage creates another whole thing where it's like, maybe you could have killed him off stage. Maybe you coming back on stage was a waste, and now you have to re-win neutral because you're both reset again. That side sig was, honestly, if I had to be real, awful, but it worked, so.
Yeah.
That was kind of fucking trollish shit, the side stick, but respect for going for it. Okay. Yeah, give me 1 second. This doesn't count for the coaching anyway, and I'll be back. Okay, so what I got from the first game was basically, if you want to remember these things, you need to work on the area of the map that you play on, because you're doing it on both weapons because it's just a habit for you, right?
Yeah.
And on sword it's whatever, but on gauntlets you can't actually do anything in that area. So and it's fine that you want to play that area, but you can't play it on that weapon. It's just not a good thing to do. So you should be trying on something else, like in a different scenario. Okay, I want to look at this game just because it's a flat map. We'll just look at core mechanics, ignoring all platforms and stuff. Okay, so yeah, you didn't do it this game, I don't think. You kind of do, but not as bad. This is fine because, let's say he stayed on the ground, you'd be able to react to it, and by the end of it, you already punished him. Because this guy commits super high up, and I don't understand why. But you take advantage of it, you recover him. If I was coaching him, I'd explain to him that he cannot do anything from being this high up while you're still on the ground, except get recovery, which you do, right? There's nothing for him to gain by being this high up, so it's kind of pointless that he went up there. You get the recovery and then get the weapon, which is all fine. Sidelight was fine. I like the snare, it just barely missed, which is just unfortunate. The idea behind it and everything you did in the other game, well, the guy was just on the ground, not showing that he was going to jump at all, and didn't jump. So it was bad, but in this game, this guy was hovering in the air. You see he's going to move towards you, you go for that nair. If you did it just a slightly bit faster or put the nair out faster, it actually would have hit him, which is just good. So next time you know to do it again, but just do it faster. Jump there is good because it matches his jump. Yeah, so a lot of these aerial things that I complained about last game, like the jump there, this guy is actually jumping into a lot of it. And in reality, if he wasn't jumping, this would still be a really bad dare, but it's matching him. So it's fine. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, it worked, but is it always going to work? Is it always the best thing?
Yeah.
And this is also why you don't do downlight dare, and it's like kind of what I was talking about. You downlight dare, this is the same downlight dare position, you get that? If you had hit downlight and dared him, the same thing, you would have been in the same spot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And now you get nothing because he dodges and you actually try to follow up and he punishes you. So that's why downlight dare is like kind of iffy. It's not terrible, but follow-ups are hard. This entire thing is kind of really good. Punish, and then he stares you, and then he dares you. I mean, you stare him, and then you dare him. So it's good. The nair was good, but slow. If you're gonna nair like that, you have to be fast with it, so it catches him out the recovery, or at least clutches. You're trading hit for hit right now, so the damage is staying kind of even, and he's kind of coming at you while you're also coming at him, so it's good. You're whiffing a lot, and he's just like, playing that area I showed you last game on sword, where it's like, okay, this is the diagonal I can actually play on because I have Sare and I have Dare that come down, right? So yeah. He's playing both those spots and he's playing them well, but what your best option here to do is either you're going to match him in the air, which is kind of hard, sure. So you cannot play the ground on this unless you're going to perfectly space side light every single time, and obviously that's not happening as you just saw. He's going to punish it. Yep. So you either match him on the ground, or you can't do it here because you are already at the edge of the map. But what you really do is you give up space. So in another world, you're like outside of this area, right? You're not here in another world. In another world, he's hovering the same area in the air, and you're actually on the map. Okay.
Yeah.
And this means, and what giving up space is while he's here threatening you with dare, you move back, so he has to keep jumping. He'll land or he'll be moving up and down, or he'll land. Those are his two things. Because if he jumps again, he's out of jumps, like you were last game. He jumps again, he's out of jumps. Now he has to land, he gets punished. If he's going to keep jumping up and down, then he's not threatening you really. He's just jumping up and down. You now can make a move onto him. But if he has this position of power over you while you're on the ground, you give up the stage to him. Just don't end up off stage. That's why I'm saying you can't really do it here, because you'll end up off stage. You don't want to do that either. So you give him the stage, and then eventually he'll either exhaust his jumps or he'll whiff. And you'll probably see a lot of top players do this too, where they just dare into the ground because they're whiffing. They had something in mind. You gave up the entire stage, and instead of hitting you, they hit the ground, and that's what giving up space does for you. Again, you're kind of going for things that aren't there for you, like that Sarah. That was bad, but also not bad. It's bad from him because this jumping is bad because it's like wasting your jumps, and nothing should happen. Nothing should come of this jumping. You should have reset a long time ago. Now you're just wasting your jumps. You're on gauntlets. You're playing that area where you can't get much, right? You know what I'm saying? You can't really do anything with it. But he downlights nothing, so it lets you punish him. And this punish should have really been a dare because he's an orange, so I would have sent him a bit further. He would have put him in the air, and you would have been able to do something. With this Sarah, you get absolutely nothing. And I say that, but the best punish would have been to Sarah this way. You came at him diagonally, so you couldn't, but instead of going fast fall like this, Sarah here, he ends up off stage. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you jump a lot, and it's just like to have the options. Like you see here, you jump, even though he's like backtracking, then you move into him with a dodge. You don't have to dodge here, by the way. Doesn't really do much. You're dodging, and this is for a fact, you're dodging because you're out of jumps because you wasted all of them. And this is, I'm not saying stay on the ground. Jumping is important, and you jump in Brawlhalla all the time, but you are jumping an excess amount. You are jumping a lot.
Okay.
That was a side light for you for free. You punish it anyway, but there's punishing. There's good punishes, and then there's the best punish, right? So you get side light. In fact, you get side light here, you get nair, you get GC downlight, chase dodge recovery. Okay, so that's a lot of damage you just missed because instead of waiting the extra like half second, you just went in and you did your end light. In fact, you had downlight there too, so you had so many things you could have gone, and you just did the end light. Sarah here, and then I'm assuming you side sig. Yeah.
How did you figure that out?
It's the only thing that makes sense for him to have died here, because of that Sarah. There's nothing to threaten him with, besides him walking into a side sig. Literally, like, he's fine, and then he walks into a side sig, and that's the only possible way he could have died. You have this stock, and I'm not even gonna watch what happens yet, but looking at it, you had so much room to where you could have made a lead for yourself because you're only in light orange. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what happens or why you're dead, but I know that it was too soon. Does that make sense? You should be starting your lead now. You got hit here. You do a really good job of it's like not good yet, like not perfect yet, but the idea is there, and that's a lot of what you do is like the idea is there. You understand why you're doing it, and you just aren't doing it correctly, perfectly, or you're messing up like that edge guard from last game. The idea is there. It's good idea, and you just don't input it perfectly yet, or you don't know what moves to use yet, and that's fine. Like you've been doing it both games. You're naring, trying to get back to stage, and it's the correct thing that a lot of people ignore. They don't actually cover it. That could have been another nair rather than a recovery. Recovering up the wall like that is really bad, and I'm going to tell you why. When you recovery up the wall, you are in animation this entire time, and he's not. Imagine if he just did an actual punish rather than miss this downlight. If he just recovered you, if he jump naired you, if he had axe, he could have sared you. There's a lot of things he can do to you here that isn't this. I don't know why he does this, but yeah. So you really want to avoid recovering up the wall like that unless it's going to hit. And I mean, you could have thought this was going to hit, right? So I'm not going to say, oh, you just should have not done it. You probably thought this was going to hit. But even then, you can get a nair off here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. That punish was fine. The Sair was kind of nothing, but it didn't really matter. Okay, perfect. You literally did everything, and then you did nothing. Downlight there, and you probably didn't know he was going to reset to the ground, but you reset to the ground to match it anyway. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you've seen me do this, it's amazing because you get the dodge, and now you do nothing. But I downlight again, right? He's on the ground, no dodge. You have matched him on the ground. Downlight, dare, GC downlight, recovery. That's a bunch of damage. Downlight dare, downlight ground pound, GC endlight. There's so many. You just got a dodge and matched him perfectly with it. It was perfect. The thing is, you just do nothing after. Yeah, honestly, the stock, I thought you could have gotten like more damage in the stock without watching it, right? But now I've watched it and I realized how much more damage you could have actually gotten. Does that make sense? You missed a lot of damage just by doing nothing where you had it. So, if you ever look back at your replays and you see things like this where it's like, I had that, but I did nothing. There's never a time, and this is true for most cases, when someone dodges, you really shouldn't be doing nothing anymore because they've dodged. They have no dodge. Now you have time to punish them. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Could have punished that. Just solely because he dodged first, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you dodge, and then he dodges. But instead of punishing it, you retreat over here. There's not much to gain from making all this space. All of this space is truly just pointless because, like I said, you can be on him and be better than him, and you will win. If someone is not genuinely like if you're not both playing at like the highest, one of you can be better than the other, and that's always true. And this is like so hard to explain, but I talk about it with like other pro players all the time, where it's like just that confidence you have over someone can completely take over the game, and you're looking back at it now and like, yeah, okay, I see what he's talking about. He spot dodges here and I retreat. Why are you retreating, right? Like if I ask you what you're running from, could you answer?
No.
Yeah. He just wasted his dodge in the air too, so it's a long one, and instead of punishing it, you retreat for nothing. That side is unlucky. It doesn't really matter. You had time to react. You had time to do a bunch of things, but it hit, and that's just what it is. It hit. You didn't punish that. That was bad. End lighting for no real reason, and this is just like, oh, I'm gonna do a move end light. This is an autopilot end light, and that's fine. It happens. So I'm not gonna delve too deep into it, but try to avoid these in the future. Like just, even I still do these where you just end light to have something out just to press a button. It's not good. I should work on it. You should work on it. Everyone should work on these. All right. So.
Yeah.
Good punish, and then he dodges in, and then you get the full extent of your damage out. That's good. Yeah, everything was. Dodges in, sidelight. He should be able to escape by now. So the recovery. I was gonna say do Nair, but the recovery is actually better because he should be able to be out by now. And then this Nair was given to you also. So all things considered, it was really good. That dodge down to Sarah was pointless, but I see what you wanted, so I'm not going to say anything about it. Now, we had something exactly similar to this last game, right?
Yeah.
And what happened last game?
My damage built up, even though I could have killed him a lot sooner.
Yeah, and it's looking like the same thing happens here probably, because this game goes on for this much longer while he's already in red. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This stock, looking at where this is where you are right now, and he's this health, he should have been dead by here at the latest, unless you're literally both sharking each other. And if you're both sharking each other, that at least means you're not taking damage, right? So I'm assuming in a perfect world, you're both just sharking each other here, and when I click on this Hattori, you're still gonna be in white, except that's not the case. Gets the downlets there, which is fine. Don't ever do that. You dodged. Coming into the stage with him giving you about 2 spear endlights worth of air, right? Mm-hmm. You wasted your dodge with him having no threat on you that he wouldn't have had to fully commit for. He would have to dash to get you, and even then, the only reason you dodge again, and I don't know if you're looking at yourself, is because you have no jumps because of the way you chose to recover. Now, look at this, where you go up, right? You come off the wall. Your jump is reset off this wall. Now you jump in place, and then you jump again, but you take it onto stage rather than reset to get your jump back one more time, and that would have been the best thing for you to do. That way you don't have to waste your dodge to actually touch the ground. He doesn't do anything with the fact that you dodged, but it was a terrible dodge. You did it again, by the way. You hit him, and then you matched him perfectly. I don't even know what you wanted to do with this because you turn around, but even then, sidelight him again. You know what I'm saying? Sidelight him again.
Yeah.
He has no dodge. Your recovery, that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was fine. Okay. You are not really. Oops. You're not really, like, playing out this. You're getting hit very well. So, you get hit here, and then what you do is this, which is just like not good because you see him coming for you. This dodge isn't the problem. The problem is that you do this dodge, he's chasing you, and then you move into him. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing where I was like before, don't move into people if you don't have options. You move into him here, and he went for a nair, but he could have really done anything he wanted. This nair didn't do that much damage to you, so no harm, no foul. But that's not true because it's bad, and there was a foul. So this was also awful, but a different type of awful. Your recovery without ever touching the wall. I don't even understand how you make it back from here. He must have let you because you are 100% dead in every sense of the word. But you hit him and you get through it. That GCN light was actually really nice. Ooh, too fast. If you waited, you got it. Just wait for some time. Just like think about it. Look at what he has. And here you genuinely have a lot of time, right? Like, look at this. I'll just show you how much time you actually have to think. And like, okay, now he's jumping, he's falling, he has all this. If you are looking at him, I'm sure you probably just like stopped and you focused on getting this weapon, didn't you? You wanted this weapon, yeah. So you said, okay, go get the weapon. You stop talking to yourself about this guy. This guy doesn't exist. This weapon exists. You're gonna go get the weapon, and then this guy will come back into picture. No, you keep both in mind. In fact, this is easier. This is not gonna do anything, right? This isn't going anywhere. This you go pick up. This guy is actively moving, coming at you, using options that you need to keep track of. So you see he's grayed out, and if you're paying attention to him, he's grayed out now. This weapon is not going to gray out. It's not going to do anything. You're going to go get it, right? Okay?
Yeah.
This guy is grayed out, so if you're keeping track, you know that. You know he has no jump now. He's already dodged. He's going to dodge now, right? He dodges, and then he recoveries, and that's how, if you were paying attention, you would have still gotten your weapon, but you wouldn't have ground pounded like this. He would have made it up, and you would have been able to go over and ground pounded. You would have been able to let him onto the stage. Like, don't even contest this area. You see how this recovery hits you? Don't even contest here. Just stay here and end light him or downlight Sarah when he comes back. I don't know if you've seen top players play Sword on the Edge, but if you see how he has to recovery, he has to. He has nothing else. You hold this area, his hurt box comes above, you downlight him, it clips here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, you've done a very bad job at ending the stock. It's now even. And that's something that you really should look at, because you've done an amazing job of building damage, but a terrible job of ending the stock. And once again, you're actually going off. You're doing damage with gauntlets, and you're doing it right, but you're not ending the stock. Not bad. The dare was slow. You punished way too slow on a lot of things, but this one is something you can easily notice. That wasn't awful. It could have been better. He downlight, he endlights, and you jump again. Don't jump again. What's the next jump for? You know, he's gonna be free by the time you jump again, and he literally was, right?
Yeah.
So just dare him. Okay. You have a very slight lead. That was weird as shit. Honestly, respect to that guy. He actually just chased your ass down, so. Yeah, and you dodged nothing. I guess you're like, I mean, cause, okay, usually when I say don't dodge nothing, I mean, they have no threat on you, so don't dodge. This guy has threat on you, but you didn't dodge away from the threat. You know what I'm saying? His threat is that he's running at you, so you dodged away from him, so now he gets to hit you because you've dodged. You see how he's still on you? And you can, like, just see the speed difference. He's catching up to you because he has more speed than you because he's on a Tori. And you just dodged nothing away. Whereas you dodge up, okay, now he passes you and you're fine. In reality, you just don't dodge. It was a panic dodge, but it was a reasonable dodge. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at the dodge. I'm mad at the direction. In a perfect world, though, you don't dodge at all. You just go up. He sidelights you and doesn't punish the fact that you haven't dodged, so it's fine. That was a downlight. End light is fine because it's something, but there's fine and then there's the best, right? Good, better, best. Downlight Sarah. Or downlight dare, or whatever you want, really. Downlight dare is always good if you want to keep extending. Downlight Sarah is good for control, and downlight recovery is most damage, and then also KO. But here is a downlight. That's just a fact. You just get the downlight here. I don't want to talk about that. That sidelight hurt my soul. That was, you did it that time where you got the downlight. That was good. Dare. This is something you work on in training mode, and it's different for everyone. You are daring here, right? This is your dare. This is where your dare is hitting him, right? You know why? Because you are inputting it here. Down, you jump, and this is you, this is him. your dare's gonna send him this way because of where you are in relation to him, right? Work on you still get it true, but you dare him when you get here. Does that make sense? You get up completely above him, and I can show you what I mean in training room right now. It's still true every time. It's because you're daring fast, and yes, it does the same damage. It used to not do the same damage. It used to literally be worse for you to dare him on the sides because it did less damage. But now it does the same damage, so fine, right? But you can see that I dare on top of him. This is what you're doing. You see that? You see the difference?
Yeah.
And it sends him to the side, and you can't work with that. So when they start getting health like this, and you need that you need that above you. You see that? Now I send him up. I can't do that with a diagonal. But straight down, and I get that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not possible with a diagonal. It just opens up things you can do because of the lack of a diagonal. So that's just something you can work on easily. We were like here. Yeah. Shit, maybe you don't need the diagonal. Slicing comes out. You shouldn't wake up like that. It clashes, which is good for you because his end light wasn't true. But waking up is generally bad. That was fine. Punish could have been better. And then that was really good. And that's what I'm talking about, where this is something you are really good at. You know when you have to do something. It's there for you. Last game, you went off stage like that, and it cost you a lot of damage, but you knew you had to do it. It's just execution, right? Here, it's the same thing. You knew you had to go off stage, and you executed it perfectly, right?
Yeah.
Good job. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll look at this since you got 3 stocked.
Yeah, this was a very bad match for me.
That was good. Punished his jump. People jump after they whiff, so you punished it. That was good. You get the weapon. You're not punishing any of this. This is all punishable. That right there, you end light with this positioning. He does again. I don't know where you're going though. Is the thing. Where are you going? Right? Like, if I just had to ask you, because you have a weapon.
Yeah, I guess in my head I was probably thinking about guarding that weapon rather than.
Yeah, I was about to go into that. You have a weapon. You want to guard this weapon, but you can't do it from here. Cause he's here. What are you gonna do when he goes up? There are levels, and this is also a good time for you to look at different maps, right? If you stand here while he stays here, the only way you hit him is if he comes straight at you for this weapon. But that's just poor play on him, right?
Yeah.
You also just went too far. He actually ended up doing the trash that I was telling you that is the only way he gets hit, but you also just went way too far for it to matter. And I think this is probably because you jump more than you need to. You jump, and then you jump again, rather than jumping once, taking the platform with that jump, and then playing off that. Dare is good, side stick is not good though. You can dare, and then you have a lot more options there rather than that side stick. You can punish that. I don't like what you did at all, because it's just not good. Like, you have room to punish this, sure, you don't, and that's fine, but this just is unreasonable. It's sloppy, it doesn't make sense to go for.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't go for stuff like that. It punishes you for it. It's not a good punish, but a punish is a punish. This guy is putting out a lot of hitboxes that you're not dealing with. You're not punishing him well. Like right there, this is a falling stair, it's sloppy. If you need to move in with it. You're going... Okay, this is the difference between... so this falling stair is a stair that you'll see a lot. just a falling stair, pull back to stay safe, right? It's safe. You're usually not gonna get punished for it, but that's the difference between a Sair that you want to stay safe with and a Sair you're using to punish him messing up. So you commit with this Sair because you know you won't get you can get punished because you're using it to punish him, right? There's no way you miss it. You're punishing him with it. There's nothing to miss. So do that. Take it into him. Sair him, not the ground. He's playing really fast, and you're not really giving yourself any air at all. Like, he sends you off here, you dodge backwards, and in reality, you have two options. You have wasted your dodge here, and your one option is to go to this wall where he can ground pound you immediately and kill you. He doesn't, but he can. Now your next option is to jump, because you still have them, and go use the platforms to reset. But you take the option that leads to your death, really. But he doesn't kill you, because he's probably plat or something. And then you immediately go back up to where you know he's end lighting. You don't give yourself that time. Stay on the wall a bit longer, and if you really want to go back up, go around so it takes longer. Give yourself time. You're not making correct decisions because you're not giving yourself breath.
Okay.
If he was any better, you die. You could have killed him. The game's already like kind of spiraling for you, but he has nothing here, and you still have a jump left, right? So instead of recovering, which you do immediately, ground pound, just ground pound, because he has nothing at all. And it's just like, maybe hindsight, maybe it's not. I wouldn't say it's hindsight because you're not looking back at this and going, oh, I could have done this, right? I'm saying this as in game. If you know that this is an option, you would have done it. So I'm telling you this now, that if someone is looking like this and you, almost anytime you get a clash like this one, where it's not clash, but you take priority over someone like this, and they had no jumps to begin with, because you should be counting jumps, the ground pound is the best option. You just let him back up by recovering. You're too far for that side light, because you dashed back first, so make sure you're in range for your moves. You see the problem with that?
Yeah, just Sair or Nair.
I mean, just don't miss is the problem. You just missed anything. Just don't miss. It's fine. You don't have any reads on this guy yet, so you don't know he dodges down, but you can at least react to that. Because look at how long it. Okay, in a high level, like where I play with gauntlets, to follow up with something like this, you need a read, because they're gonna dodge and then they're immediately gonna do something. So you need to punish the dodge. But this guy dodges and then just does nothing, and in that time you have time to react and do another sidelight or to actually do something, and you just match him with a jump and then you ground pound, and that's just not good. Okay? Luckily, you're actually a fucking god and you just perfectly spot dodge the Sair. Unlucky. There's nothing to say about it. You're still recovering too fast. I guess there's something to say. Don't recover this fast. It's just poor. It's just not good to recover like this, because you just got off. You kind of just jump back and forth, and then out of nowhere, you just decide that now you're gonna recover. And to add on, you can see him charging the Sig. You can react to this. I think you're hoping to beat him out, but it's too fast. You can beat him out. You can punish him after the Sig, right?
Yeah.
For a game that you actually got stomped in, you're not doing badly on how long your stocks last. Because if I was 3-stocking someone, this game wouldn't be 3 minutes long. You know what I'm saying? You've actually... It doesn't look like you're killing yourself or you're just way worse than him. It just looks like you're not playing well enough to actually make anything happen. He's playing really fast. He's keeping the pressure on. And what that means is when people play fast and pressure you like this, you tend to fold. You mess up, you lose fast. You've done a good job at losing, but giving yourself time to learn while you're losing. You're not just messing up. You're not just constantly throwing. You're losing and it's clear, but it's not just like flat. You're done. You know. You're just missing so many punishes. By the way, I don't think you've actually like successfully punished them more than twice. Like, see. And at this point, you're kind of trying to play from behind. You're taking it a bit slower. You, like right here, but there's taking it slow and then there's doing nothing. Like right here, he uses everything. He jumps up. He has no jumps. Now he has to dodge. You could have punished him right here, but now he has to dodge finally. And when he does dodge, he only gets his jumps back here because of the mechanic, where he goes through a platform. Going through a platform gives you your jumps back. So, and he did that, right? Oh no, it doesn't even give him his jumps back. It's just buggy. It lights him up too much. So he doesn't even have his jumps back. And rather than punish him, you give up the entire map to a guy that had no options. So I'm going to tell you everything you could have done, even though the game's not very close. There's so many things you could have done instead. Right here, you can immediately run up and light him, downlight him, whatever you want. Right? And this is just on the face value that he has no jumps left and he has to dodge. If he could have reacted to it, fine, he would have reacted by dodging, but he would have dodged in the same way. He can't dodge anywhere else but up and straight down, but that's just a terrible dodge. So let's say you play that out, and he takes that dodge and dodges up, you recovery him. Now let's say you don't do this. He does go up like he originally does. You still have everything. Dash jump up, Sair him, dash jump up, recovery him. You're just letting him be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he free to do this? You're showing too much respect. A lot of jumping. Not really much to coach about jumping, so. Endlight was not very useful. This is the wall. If your plan is not to go up, do not ever come around here, okay? If you are not ready to actually commit to going on stage or to fight for stage, never come here because your hurt box will peak, right?
Uh-huh.
For the most part, if you're gonna jump around, do it here. And always watch out for a ground pound, so be ready to move off the wall. But yeah. He comes off with you and recoveries you. And surprisingly, that doesn't kill you. That was good, but you can't really, you don't extend it well just because you go for the side light, and the side light wasn't awful. Like, it wasn't really bad, but I'd rather look at what you could have done. That would have been smarter. After he goes off like this, instead of side lighting, you can commit to it, jump Sair, recovery, anything. This side light never hits him, so it's just better to look at the better things.
Okay.
Sloppy, just not, that sig's not punishable in general, but it's definitely not punishable with another signature. You're better off just going for a down right there. The signature also doesn't look like it was meant to punish it. It looks like you just wanted to sig. Like you were, it looks like whether or not that sig came out, you wanted to do that side sig yourself. I mean, this is just like a bad recovery from him, like just literally trolling, honestly. But this is just not how you punch that, so yeah. Go straight with it, and you can actually get, if you dash here, your downlight should maybe hit him, I'm not sure, but that's just me thinking, it's experimenting. In reality, you have a Sair, just do anything you want. In fact, go above him and ground pound. This just is nothing. It's just trolling. So.
Right as soon as I saw that, I was like, why did I ground pound there? That doesn't make any sense.
He hasn't died yet, and obviously he doesn't die, but there have been times where he could die, and it's just about, can you kill him? So, looks like by the end of this game, a lot of it has fallen apart, and you're trying to scrap what you can together with the sidelights that aren't going to hit. You're just putting out a lot of useless moves. And this game is definitely 100% over, but I'm going to say it anyway, that a game is never over, and just because you are looking at it from a deficit doesn't mean you should start putting out hitboxes. And honestly, the farther behind you are, the slower you have to play, because playing fast leaves you open to getting hit for hit, whereas you really want to be forcing leads for yourself. But yeah, this game was a lot to learn from, but no, I take that back, because this is what I mean by that. This game has nothing to learn from, because the entire game is played poorly. There is no point where you can compare to, this is something good I did, this is something bad I did. You were missing a bunch of punishes, that's always bad, and you weren't taking options available to you. You can KO him, and you were also reacting too fast to things, and you leading yourself to get killed. Like the down stick here again, right here probably, where he comes in with a down stick, and you react immediately to it. As soon as you see the down stick, you come in with a recovery. It's just too fast. You need to give yourself that time.
Okay.
Alright, that's 3 games, and I would look at myself playing VAL to compare. I don't have a game where I play VAL on my account as of late. So what we're going to do instead is look at when I played VAL on YouTube, and that's probably the best I can get out of that for you. I'm pretty sure I lose this game, but it's whatever. So, just hope he gets not Lance. I try to play gauntlets here, and you can already see how it starts up for me. At the start, we do the same thing, where it's like, okay, we're going to contest for the weapon, and you're going to look at my start compared to yours. You see how you guys dash back and forth when, like, I'm not saying I immediately got the weapon, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want the weapon immediately. I didn't run up immediately. But you look at what I do. I go in, and I stop. And I don't do anything else. I stop. There's nothing else. I stop, and you instead dash back and forth, but you can just stop, and nothing will happen. I punish him for coming back into me with the end light. It's fine. And I don't want to... It's unarmed versus gauntlets, which is actually kind of harder when people play unarmed and diamond, so I don't want to commit to him too full. But you can see I'm also weapon starving him. For the most part so far, every time I have access to this weapon, I throw it away and trade it. And I don't think I saw times where you gave yourself time to weapon starve, but it's fine. If you see it possible, just make sure you remember it. Throw away the weapon and reset it, and then they still have to come into you. Yeah, so that stock was almost like, there's no perfect stock, but the stock was really good, because I kept him off of a weapon for the most part. And Costlix in specific is a person that needs a weapon, right? If you know that about Costlix, you know he needs a lance. So if you keep him off of it, that's time for you to build your lead. I use it to build a lead, and then right here I sidelight. I know he doesn't want to go down. As soon as I see him starting to come up, I know he's going to have to contest this platform, because I keep track of where his jumps are. I end sig. Now, obviously, as I'm saying like this, I'm keeping track, and I'm like, oh, I already know he's going to do this. You have to be able to see that he's going to do this and make your decision in the blink of an eye, right? Like, that's the hardest part about it all. Knowing they're going to do something and making the decision to do something about it. Like, when you ground pounded that guy in the second game at the end, that's what I'm talking about. You know what's going to happen, but you actually need to do something about it. And you do. Most of the times you do. get Sarah here. He's on Hammer, and it's costly, so I try to take advantage of that, but instead I die on Orange because Scarlet's not fair. I think I have Gauntlets on this, so maybe I'll actually play them for once. Yeah, I go for the Starlight Nair, and then no one really does anything, so the game just started, so I'm trying to feel him out, and I just try to follow him, and that Sarah was because he went to this side, so I Sared, but there wasn't really much to gain no matter what I did, so.
Okay.
At the start of the game where you're still trying to figure them out, it's best to just stay on top of them and follow them with gauntlets. That way, you can try to figure out where they're going to usually go. Yeah, see, I've started trying to follow him around. I spot dodge. I mean, my spot dodging is just to give me time, where I don't. A good habit is to, when you hit someone, spot dodge so you don't lose where you are. Because if you don't spot dodge, you'll start falling, right? So spot dodge, and you can stay in that spot, and then you can chase them. I didn't punish that, and I could have, but I was slow. Punish the dodge in. A lot of this is happening really fast because it's just faster games, so you just see the area that I'm trying to control, and you can see the thing with the jumps, and I do it too because it's sloppy. But you see, I jump up, I give him all this room, and then I dare the map for no reason because I can't come straight down without a hitbox out, so I dare and I get punished for it, and that's something should be worked on. You don't just jump and give all that room up. I could have killed him, but I downlight Sarah instead. He had no dodge, and I had downlight dare and downlight recovery available, so it's bad for me. I stole that one from your book. Thank you.
It's good. It's a good sig.
It works. I used to hate that sig. I called it broken all the time because it used to hit like straight up behind you.
I try and catch people off guard with it because it has like, it's not technically a two-part sig, but I like to think it is.
Yeah, the second circle at the end.
Yeah, the little like clap that she does. It catches a lot of people off guard who try and spot dodge it at like the end.
The game kind of falls apart for me. I'm trying to make opportunities for myself, but it's really hard against other players. So, and you can see here where we're both just jumping. I'm not really going for anything. I'm trying to exist. I'm trying to like look for something, even though it's probably not coming. So all this jumping, he doesn't attack me, I don't attack him. We're literally just, and when he finally does something, I just whiff a punish, and this is what whiffing a punish, like you whiff your punishes, and it's okay, I whiffed my punish. This is what whiffing a punish looks like in Diamond. They just literally kill you, so you can't do that.
Okay.
But yeah, he ends up taking the game, and I die there. But there's still things to be learned from everyone, so yeah. If I remembered, I would have played a game of VAL or something just to get it going, but I had none. Okay, wrapping that up, the best person you can obviously watch if you want to learn how to play VAL is Vinny Faison. He has VAL played in literally every single tournament. He has it against Wrench, against Boomy, against Sandstorm, against Wrench again, he has it against everyone. And that's just the best case of like VAL you're gonna get out of anyone. I don't have any specific picks on which ones to watch, but yeah, he's just the best person to see play VAL at the highest level. It's hard to watch people play at the highest level because they're also playing against someone else who is very good, and you're not immediately gonna go like grow out just by you're not just gonna watch a video and become 10 times better than the people around you, but it's a good thing to do, to watch better players and try to steal what they're doing, put it into what you're doing, and this video will be on YouTube, so anything that you feel like you didn't remember or you need to look at again, so that if you ever want to go back and look at what something that just happened to you and look at how you could have done it better, you take the tips from the video. So yeah, I think that about sums this one up. An hour 24 is not bad at all, so we got through 3 games and we even got a chance to look at one of my games still. All right. I think that wraps it up. Unless you have any questions or anything, any situations.
No. I think just like going through those games really broadened my mind on just punishing a lot.
Yeah.
Not jumping as much.
Yeah. Just look at the area you're able to play around, and if you can't play around that area, don't force it. It's really not. It's not that simple for you. But yeah, that's about it. Alright, I'm gonna end the video here too, and really appreciate it.